The Vogue demand blood, and once again they turn on their own. And this time, it's Dragon Age to Veilguard. Karma, beautiful, say less.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. We have another example of the woke eating their own, and we love to see it. You love to see it. I love to see it. And if you wait long enough, you're going to see it. It's only a matter of time. We have an article here from Phantom Pulse that caught my attention because the headline has to do with PC Gamer. PC Gamer, of all places. And you guys know exactly how PC Gamer is because we've covered a few of their articles in the past.
Same.
It says PC Gamer editor bashes Dragon Age to Veilguard and declares that he's done with BioWare. Yes, the editor for PC Gamer is saying that he's done with the game that represents all of them.
We made it through. And this time, no dragon escaped.
Thanks to Tosh.
That's why we recruited her.
Actually, Tosh uses them for himself now.
They asked us to let folks know, so.
Kill her! How dare she? I'm triggered.
Now you do.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Thank you for telling me.
Damn.
Bruh.
That's why we recruited them.
Yeah!
So what's our next move, Rook?
Tosh explored the identity with Harding support. Yay! God, I hate life so much, it's insane.
I find this to be
Also, the idea that PC Gamer of all things unholy literally decided it's not worth running defense for something is insane. Listen, PC Gamer said that Path of Exile 2 is worse than Diablo 4 because the low dopamines are worse, which literally means you have not played Diablo 4 for 10 hours on a single character, because then you would know that roughly it only takes 7 hours for you to run out of upgrades to put on your typical character, and you know, it gets worse after the 10th hour because you literally never find upgrades for your character any longer. And that Path of Exile 2 just looks so much worse than Diablo 4 because it doesn't have $100 mount skins. Yes, unironically, PC Gamer has literally talked about this and made articles about it, which is 10 out of 10. And they are refusing to run defense for BioWare at this point? Man, how worthless must you be for this to happen?
very interesting. I do. I find it to be very interesting whenever the woke eat their own, because let's be real. I understand that not everybody is the same at these journalist websites. Now, granted, we're talking to like, what, 3% that are not the same, but still, there are some people there that might have a little bit of, sanity to them left. They're not as insane as some of the rest, but ultimately, everybody has an epiphany at one point or another, and I think that's what's happening here. I think Dragon Age: The Veilguard has woke up a lot of people. Even some of the people who were claiming to be on that particular side of the aisle, I still think it woke them up to the extent where now, apparently, the editor is bashing it. So let's get into this article, guys, from Phantom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here...
Dude, what the hell is this? I'm just looking at it. Is this dwarf literally built to like a meatball? Like, what are we talking about here? What the hell? Let's ignore the obvious cripple because empowerment. But, I mean, what the hell is this meatball? I'm sorry, but it's just like, damn.
Just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says PC Gamer online editor Fraser Brown has bashed Dragon Age: The Veilguard and declared that he's done with BioWare moving forward. In an article titled "After Holding Years of Hope, 2024 was a year I finally gave up on BioWare," Brown documented his history with BioWare and Dragon Age. So really quick, I think a lot of people are like that, right? There's people out there that are mega BioWare fans, or they were anyway, myself included. You guys already know my history with Mass Effect 3. I was a huge BioWare fan, and then when that debacle happened, I kind of lost faith in them. And then once Andromeda happened, I definitely lost faith in them. And then we're not even going to bother talking about Anthem, right? Like Anthem. So I lost faith in them completely. I'm one of those people. But there are people out there that wasn't quite there yet, right? They weren't quite there in terms of losing faith, and they had hope. Like, they really had hope. They were like, okay, maybe BioWare will return to form, right? That's the wording they were having the journalists use to explain their brand new game. Return to form. They were hoping that was going to happen, and then they slowly but surely realized
IGN 9 out of 10. Never forget, boys.
that's not happening, right? BioWare, unfortunately, is not returning to form. BioWare of today might as well just be BioWare in name. You might as well rename the studio at this point, because the people who are in charge over at BioWare, the ones who are making the video games now over at BioWare, it's not who they used to be. Not even close. It's not even close to being the same company, so you might as well just rename yourselves. But let's be real, they wouldn't be able to get any clout if they rename themselves, so they
This is happening throughout all of the games industry. The studios that made amazing games 20, 10, or even as little as 5 years ago, chances are all of their staff, all of the people who originally made these great experiences are long gone. And the list of these studios is insanely long. BioWare, Ubisoft, now CDPR Red has destroyed itself in just a span of 3 years. No people who made The Witcher Wild Hunt are still there. The people who made even Cyberpunk 2077 are gone. The people who made the expansion for that game, who were new hires but turned out to be good, they're also gone, some magically howling off to better places. World of Warcraft completely gone, replaced. All the people who made the original game that you like, gone to the wind. It's gone. Every big company that you can imagine at this point, they have been replaced by people of ideologies, of people who don't care about the game but care about signaling and virtue and all of those things. They're gone, and chances are they're never really coming back. This is the state that the gaming industry is in. This is why no one trusts AAA any longer, because it's just a bloated corpse of what it once was. A shattered dream that once existed and now is slowly being forgotten. And it's never going to change. New studios are going to come and replace the broken drags of what once was AAA. And then they're going to be the new AAA. And then in 5 years, this all will probably repeat and they will die. And be replaced by new studios, like Grinding Gear Games with Path of Exile 2, Larian with Baldur's Gate 3. It's everything repeats itself.
They keep the name BioWare because of that. So it says, after spending much of the article explaining his history with the company and the franchise, he then tore into Veilguard, declaring, "I really tried to enjoy myself. God, I tried so hard. I attempted to find nuggets of joy within its ham-fisted dialogue, one-note companions, and the flashy but soulless fights, but I just couldn't do it. Every time there was a glimmer of hope, it was dashed against rocks of infinite disappointment." Yes! Yes! That, oh my God, that right there is exactly what I said when I was playing Veilguard on Griffcast. I literally said, there's a couple of times during the game where you're like, wow, okay, maybe we're getting somewhere. We're finally getting somewhere. Let's do this. Let's go. And then 5 to 10 minutes later, it just completely ruins it. It ruins it. And then you're like, why did I even bother? Like, why did I even bother thinking that we might actually have something here of worth? You know what I mean? And
there is no way. There is no greater example than the first roughly 30 minutes of gameplay in Dragon Age Veilguard, where you get to the corrupted... Actually, no, that's not 30 minutes of gameplay. That's like 1 hour, one and a half hours into the game, where you get to the freshly corrupted village where the elf gods were released, and they try to set up your first big choice. And let me just break it down how it happens, because this is how bad the game is. And when this is their setup, their first big thing to reveal how deep the game is going to be, and you fail this miserably, there is no hope. So, this is the setup. There's a village. It has been corrupted. The people of the village have been mind-washed by eldritch elf god entities that are all-powerful. You go through the village, everyone has been turned into goo, effectively, and then at one point you find the village elder who's for some reason held by a tentacle. And now you kind of get to free him, and now you get to decide his fate. And this is what effectively happens. You know that these elder beings, these gods, can literally mind control people because they did that to the village, but now for some reason, all of the responsibilities put on the village's elder for all of this happening, because he conceded to the mind manipulating evil gods against his will, arguably, because yeah, sure, they kind of offered him great rewards and things, but at the end of the day, they literally manipulated his mind. There is nothing that shows that he needed to concede so the villagers get mind controlled. They're seemingly just mind controlled by default. And none of this makes sense, but for some reason, you don't even get to push back against the idea, oh, that the village chief is not actually responsible, that he's also just a victim in this. And you get the options of, like, I don't actually remember all of the options, but it's effectively killing him, saying he needs to now go repent on the wall, you know, Game of Thrones style, or some other thing. You don't have the ability to even say, wait, hold a minute. Hold on a minute. How is he responsible for all the village getting mind fucked and turning into slaves? Also, he literally said that they tricked him and also mind fucked him. Why are we putting all the responsibility on him? Well, you shouldn't. Every normal person is going to figure out that, wait a minute, the village chief is, maybe he's not the best guy because he showed that he is willing to actually betray his village for glory, riches, and whatnot. But still, it's not like he actually had a choice in the matter. He was just forced. Like, how is all of this his fault? How is he the penultimate person responsible for everything bad that just happened in the last 13 minutes? I don't know. I don't know. And this is never explored. And this is their deep decision making. It's so pitiful.
That happens at least 10 times in the game, right? And I'm talking like on a major level. There are some minor levels that happens on too, but on a major level, it's about 10 times that happens in the game. And it sucks. It really sucks because you try to be objective. You try to look at it and say, okay, I know this is going to be woke. I know it's woke as shit, but let me try to find something. Nope, can't do it. The moment you start to find something, the game's like, hold up, wait a minute. Did you know this person's non-binary? Like, it's so stupid. And it's not even about the woke shit either. True. It's just the overall game as well. Like this person said, like Fraser said, overly flashy combat. You can clearly see that the combat is trying to look special instead of actually being special. That's really the disappointment in it. So then he continued, honestly, I'm amazed I finished it. There was certainly a point where I was starting to...
Yeah, before Dragon Age came out, this is what I was talking about. The combat doesn't seem necessarily bad, and it's, by the way, not really that bad if you're a mage or a assassin, rogue. But if you're a warrior, get fucked. Have fun casting your ulti and doing 1/4 of a basic fodder enemy's HP. Have fun, my dude. Have fun. It's gonna be great. But yes, I said that it doesn't seem special, but it seems at least it's interesting, unless the caveat was unless the enemies just turn into damage sponges, which they do, by the way, which they do, unless you're a mage, honestly, at the very, very end. But you know, if you're not anything other than a mage, congratulations, Damage Sponge City.
I feel like I'd rather do anything else than listen to Hot Grey Warden talk about his big dumb bird for the 100th time, or play therapist to a giant dragon slayer who just wants to moan about how their mom doesn't understand him. These should have been great characters. A veteran knight reclaiming his order's lost legacy, a proud warrior wrestling with their cultural and gender identity. There's so much.
Sounds like some woke non-binary shit again. Also, by the way, being binary is the cheapest shit ever because you don't literally need to do anything. But since people will never be able to tell that you're non-binary, you get to put it in everyone's face. It's like the perfect solution.
much good stuff there. But nope, they're just plain boring. All of them. Nevertheless, after bashing the game, Brown made it clear that he was done with BioWare moving forward. When I got to the final cutscene that teased what we can expect for the next Dragon Age, it really sealed the deal. I am out. BioWare just isn't telling stories I care about anymore. Instead of moping around, I'm moving on. BioWare had an exceptional run, but the developer is long gone. What's left is just an EA studio that makes middling games that I'm not really interested in.
Actually, you know what? I'm kind of slowly starting to sell myself on the Vogue bullshit because honestly, it sounds pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Imagine you just get to declare any Apache helicopter type that you want that you are, and then whenever anyone says something that is remotely anything, you can just yell at them. How dare you not use my preferred ammunition type as a descriptor for me? How dare you? It's honestly kind of hilarious. I'm starting to see the appeal. You just constantly get to be mean against everyone without any recompense, and it's great, you know. I'm starting to sell the Vogue shit to myself pretty well.
And woo, damn. Talk about a cook. That is just a beautiful thing. Yes, what he's saying is true. Ironically, and I'm sure like this kind of person I ideologically disagree with on a multitude of different things, but what he is saying about Veilguard is absolutely true. Even if you want to ignore the woke nonsense that's in the game, quite frankly, it's just badly written, badly performing. The game is garbage in terms of its gameplay. None of it is fun for the most part. It overstays its welcome very quickly. Like 2 hours into the game, you feel like you've seen everything that the combat has to offer. There is nothing that's going to keep you there interested all the way to the end. The only ones who are finishing it are streamers that finish it for their content or journalists that finish it for their review, if they even finish it at all, which most of them haven't, by the way. So you end up getting to this situation where all you got to do is look at SteamDB and you'll realize that the achievements show everything, right? SteamDB shows that only about 30% of people finish the game. I mean, I don't even think it's that high.
That's actually wrong. 25. An average game, I think, has something. I could be wrong here, but this was through years ago. That's why I could be out of date maybe here, because you know 5-10 years ago, we played games slightly differently, okay? Now it's a little bit different. But 5-10 years ago, it was actually normal for a game to have only a 10 to 25% completion rate. The fact that Dragon Age Veilguard has 33% completion rate is strange, but not really that strange, because you need to understand, Dragon Age Veilguard is the biggest success of the modern audience ever. There has been nothing even remotely as close to successful as Dragon Age Veilguard in the modern audience's eyes. Every single modern audience person actually contributed to Dragon Age Veilguard. And yes, it's still a disaster that most likely is negative 200 million in BioWare's final year statement. But, I mean, they came on force. 50k people max playing this shit game with the Slop Fiesta. They showed what they're capable of, and that is not enough. That is not enough. And considering only people like this and Super Mega Dragon Age fans probably played it because it is Dragon Age, 33% does actually seem a reasonable amount of people who completed this game.
High, to be honest. I think it's like 27 or some percent like that, something like that. But it's not even that high, right? One third of the people finished the game. That's it. 1/3. So where's the other 2/3? What they're just not playing the game? Like they just gave up? Of course they did. They say, you know what, this is stupid. And if they couldn't refund the game, they just threw it away. And they're like, all right, whatever. It's money lost, unfortunately. And that's what we try to avoid. On this channel, we try to be as transparent as possible with the video games that we talk about and what we showcase on Grifcast in the hopes to try to avoid people wasting their money. But you can't save everybody. You know, people are going to buy the game no matter what because they're going to be like, nope, he's just an angry grifter. He's just a chud, whatever. And then they end up paying the game and like, wow, this is really bad. This is really bad. You can't really defend this, right? So that's where we're at here with Dragon Age the Veilguard, and that's where it seems like this guy is at as well. And it's amazing because, again, he works for PC Gamer. Like, I feel like in order to work at PC Gamer, you have to vote Democrat. You know what I mean? Like, it's part of the
Yeah, I mean, PC Gamer is just chill central, effectively. Anyway, that was Hypnotic, 10 out of 10. Bye!